Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Michaela Underdahl, and I'm Nimble's Community Manager. Thank you so much for joining me today for a Nimble Customer Manager walkthrough. I will be sharing my screen the entire time, and I will walk you through the entire application and the setup. I would also like to spend a few more minutes at the end of today's session answering any questions you may have. So please feel free to use the question box to let us know any feedback and questions, and we'll cover all of them at the end of today's session. So what is Nimble Customer Manager for those of you that are just getting started? So Nimble is an easy to use CRM that works for you everywhere. We already mentioned that we have Outlook add-ins. We also have a browser extension that will allow you to use it where you're already working, like any third-party application, any website, or also any social media site. Nimble automatically combines your contacts, communication histories, and email inboxes and your calendar appointments into one easy-to-use relationship manager. And it also integrates with social media and with over 160 software as a service applications. It is completely free for our Outlook Customer Manager customers for the first year. And what are some of the differences between Nimble and Outlook Customer Manager? And I have my colleague Taylor helping me in the background, and she'll be sharing a detailed support article with all of you where we actually have a grid where you can compare all the features. But at a high level, Nimble actually delivers all of the features that you have been enjoying in Outlook Customer Manager plus more. So for example, we do have the standalone web application. We offer the Outlook add-in and the browser extension. We offer a deal pipeline, and we also have mobile applications for both iOS and Android with business card scanner. And now let me go into the actual app and show you how to get all set up. So you already know that when you first log into Nimble, you will land on the Today page. So we already covered that it's a customizable dashboard, but before we go through all the details about it, I would like to first go through the setup, because if you don't connect your emails, don't connect your calendars, if you don't import your contacts, this page won't be populated with any data, and it will just be a lot of blank boxes. So every time you'll need to do something in settings, import new contacts, check on your Outlook connection or anything, you'll navigate in the top right corner here, click on the circle and go to Networks and Imports. So if you want to migrate from Outlook Customer Manager, you can also use this migration tool. And again, my colleague will share a link with everybody that will lead you to a detailed support article where you can find out how you can download all your data and also migrate it into Nimble Customer Manager. If you want to go the different route and want to just directly bring your Office 365 data into Nimble, you can do so as well. You can always select this box, click on email accounts, or just scroll down. And as you can see, you can just click Connect Email Connection and select the appropriate email account. Nimble works with both Office 365 and G Suite. So if for any reason you're using a combination of, or you are transitioning from one to another, you will be able to integrate with both. After you have connected your emails, I also want to mention that you can connect as many emails into Nimble as you want, as long as they are IMAP. So we do not support POP, but as long as they are an IMAP account, you can connect multiple. And when you're emailing to people from inside of Nimble, you can always easily select from a drop-down box which email you want which email address you want the email to go out of. So when you scroll a little down, you'll see that you can also connect multiple calendars. You can connect your Outlook calendar. If you're also using Google Calendar, you can connect that as well. And on the import, we will ask you all what are all the individual calendars that you have access to, you want to connect to Nimble, and you can select all those that you want to bring into Nimble, and you can always go back into settings and uncheck those that maybe you don't want to be seen inside of Nimble. If you are using social media, we have an amazing and direct integration with Twitter. If you are a Twitter user, you will really enjoy it, because once you connect Twitter into Nimble, you can not only bring your Twitter connections into your CRM database, and when doing that, I would like to go through some of the options. I do not recommend bringing in everybody, because not everybody who follows you personally or your company on Twitter necessarily has to be in your CRM database. If one of your main goals using a CRM system should be to do whatever you can to keep your data clean and organized. So I would definitely first think about who the people are that you want to bring into Nimble. So again, if you're using Twitter, you can select from this drop-down menu and select if you just want to bring in people that you follow each other with, that Twitter calls friends, or those that you follow. Or if you're utilizing Twitter list, you can bring in individual Twitter lists, which will really help you to keep your database organized. You can always apply a tag to the import, which I recommend to do with any type of import. If you're importing your Office 365 contacts, always put a tag on it. If you are using Nimble as a team, I also recommend adding your name to the tag, because if you have, let's say, 5 users and all of you import your Office 365 contacts, and each of you just selects the tag Office 365 contacts, later when you're using the database, you will not be able to easily tell who imported which contacts. So just adding your name in it or another unique identifier will be really helpful in the long run. We also allow you to import your LinkedIn connections. We do not have a direct integration as of now, but you can always go onto your LinkedIn profile, request an archive with your LinkedIn connections, which will come in as a CSV file, and then you'll be able to use our import tool to import them. If you are using spreadsheets in your business, you can always bring them in using our CSV import as well. And we also have what we call an import wizard that will help you map the fields. So this should cover all the things that you might want to be imported into Nimble. If you are using any third-party application, you can also utilize our pricing integration, but this would be available on the upgraded Nimble Business Plan. The advantage of using that is that we have a deal with pricing, which is a company that specializes in bidirectional data synchronization, that each of our customers gets to create a free 14-day trial. And during this period, everybody can bring in all of their contacts from third-party applications like QuickBooks, Xero, MailChimp, and so on into Nimble for free. So if you're just interested in the initial migration, you could use pricing for that. If you are interested in keeping those databases in sync, that is also possible. And as long as you sync less than 2,000 contacts per month, the integration would remain free. And Taylor, please also share with people link to one of our support articles about pricing. Thank you. Before we leave settings, I would also want to cover some of the things in the settings menu on the left side. If, for instance, you want to change anything in regards to your account, you can always go into My Account and change your first name, last name, your title, your information. You can change the time zone. You can also change the currency inside of Nimble, the date format. And this is also where you would be able to delete your account and also change your password. We also have a feature inside of Nimble that helps you helps you recover deleted contacts. So the account admin can also set up the number of days that he or she allows the contacts to stay in the deleted folder. After that, they will not be able to get recovered anymore. In billings, this is where you would always find any information about your plan, how much you're paying, what is it that you're paying for, how many licenses you have, and so on. In notifications, you'll be able to set up your notifications in regards to email tracking, in regards to any information about our product, and so on. We covered networks and imports. This is where you'll go every time you want to import contacts into Nimble. In email settings, you can create templates and also copy and paste your signature, which is very useful because once you save it here, it will automatically be attached to any emails that you'll send from inside of Nimble. And if you're interested in using Nimble as a team, you can always go into users, add the number of licenses you want to add, and then you would click here on invite users and just list all the users that you want to invite. You would just list the email addresses of the users you want to invite separated by commas. Then each of them would receive an email and they would be given instructions on how to create their own Nimble instance. Outlook Customer Manager offers just one pipeline inside of Nimble, and this is where you would have the ability to customize it. So you get to change the name of the pipeline and names of the individual stages, together with the number of days you allow each deal to stay in each stage, and so on. If you're interested in using multiple pipelines, they would be available on the upgraded Nimble Business Plan. That is $25 per user per month if paid monthly, and it goes down to $19 per user per month on annual billing. Nimble also offers an amazing feature, which are custom fields. So if the fields that are currently existing in Nimble are not enough, if you want to create any fields that are specific to your business model or any type of project you're doing with your customers, you get to create up to 5 custom tabs and then up to 100 individual custom fields. Under contact info, you can see that we have the lead type, lead source, and lead status. These are the custom fields that can and cannot be customized. So what it means is that you cannot change the name of it. So it will always be called lead type, lead source, and lead status, but you get to completely define the individual values here. So if you want to qualify leads and it's custom to your business, you can always customize it here. You can click the minus button here to delete some. You can rename them, or if you want to add more, you can just click the plus sign button. Always make sure that you click apply changes. And I think these are the main things in settings, and I would like to go back to today page. As I mentioned, this page is completely customizable. So it really depends on what is it that you do in the company. So if you're the business owner, if you're responsible for everything, then you might want to focus on all of these. If you are just responsible for marketing, maybe the deal related widgets will not be so important to you. So you can always click on manage widgets here. As you can see, you can upload your company logo, you can change the background, and you can always add and remove the widgets. So when you click on that, you'll see a list of them. So we offered a widget that will show you a list of all the sales opportunities, all the deals that you have in your pipeline. Events will be everything that's on all the calendars that you have connected to Nimble. Tasks will be your to-dos. We also have a feature that's called highlighted contacts. In settings, you'll get to tell Nimble what are the keywords and titles that are important to you and your business. And once you import contacts into Nimble, Nimble will be matching the keywords to the bios of the people helping you resurface people that you are not really in touch. We also have a feature called Stay in Touch feature. So you can use a little clock next to your contacts' names and set up a custom reminder or weekly or annual reminder to help Nimble to help you stay in touch with them, because there's only a certain amount of people that we can remember to stay in touch with. So this feature can be really beneficial. Stage funnel, that will help you to visualize how much money is in your pipeline in each stage. We have a built-in email tracking. So when you're sending emails from Nimble, you'll be able to send tracked emails. And in this widget, you will see how people are interacting with your messages. Onboarding checklist, that's a checklist I recommend following to make sure that you have followed all the necessary steps in order to connect everything to Nimble and to take the most advantage of. And then pipeline chart, that's also another of our deal-related widgets. This is where you'll also be able to visualize what your pipeline looks like. In addition to being able to hide certain widgets, you can also drag and drop them. So if you want to have your to-do list in the front, you can move it around. And when you're done, you can just close settings, review if now the dashboard looks the way you want it to. If not, you can always go back to manage widgets and play with it some more. So I already mentioned that in task, you can see everything that's on your to-do list. So you can focus on your upcoming tasks, those that are overdue, those that have been completed or marked as important. And if you're using Nimble as a team, you can also view the team tasks. In calendars, in the drop-down menu here, you can select which calendar you want to focus on. So as you saw in my settings, I connected both my Office 365 calendar and my Google Calendar. So then I can focus on either all of them or any individual ones. In Stay in Touch, I'll see the list of people that I need to follow up with. Under Deals, I'll be able to see my active deals, those that have been won, lost, or all the deals that have been created by my team. This is in highlighted context. I would have all the people that Nimble identified as those that are similar to those that I'm already engaging with. This is the stage funnel, so you'll be able to see how much money you have in each stage. You'll be able to view just your deals or your team deals. And this is what the email check-in widget looks like. So you can preview how people are interacting with the messages you have sent from inside of Nimble. And here we are in contacts. I want to start on an individual contact record. So as you can see on the contact record inside of Nimble, you can see all the basic stuff like the first name, last name, and the title of the person. If the person is active on social media, you'll see a list of all the different social media profiles that they have. You see their bio. You can mark them as important, and this is where you can set up the Stay in Touch reminder. So I created a custom one. You can easily change that. So under here, you can always add a note here. So notes and activities and contacts are currently shared across your entire Nimble team, which will give you the ability to, which will give everybody on your team the ability to always quickly find out what is it that has been done with your clients, customers, prospects, what are the next steps, and who is responsible for them. So if there's anything that you have just discussed on the phone call with somebody, you can quickly edit as a note. If there's any type of activity that happened in the past, you can use the log activity button. You can create a task that happened in the past. As you can see, the checkbox is already pre-checked because this is for logging past activities. You can also add an event if you met with somebody and forgot to put it on your calendar and you still want to make sure that it's recorded, that it happened. You can add it here. If it was a call, you can log it here. And you also get to create custom activities inside of Nimble. For anything that will happen in the future, you can use schedule activity, and it's exactly the same thing. You can create a task that is a to-do. You can set up the due date for a specific date and time. You can also assign it to either yourself or any of your team members. So once the administrator of your Nimble account adds more users, there will be a drop-down menu, and you'll be easily able to select from the drop-down menu and select who you want the activity to perform. Once they will get a notification that there's something that you want them to do, and then once they complete it, you will get a notification, and everything will be recorded under interactions here. I already covered several times that you have the ability to send messages from inside of Nimble. If you connected multiple email addresses into Nimble, you would have a drop-down menu here, and you would be able to select from which one you want the message to go out of. You can also select from any existing templates. And once you compose the message, you can also pick if you want Nimble to track the message or if you want to send it without tracking. And then you would receive a notification. The type of notification will depend on what you set up in settings, but it will always show up on your Today page in the dashboard. It's also super easy to create new sales opportunities inside of Nimble. You can create new deal from here. You can name it. You can add the expected close date, the amount, the probability of winning the deal, the primary contact. If there are any participants you want to add to the sales opportunity, this is how you can put it on your pipeline, and you can pick in which stage it is. We also offer deal privacy. So deals can be set as private, meaning only the person who creates them will be able to see and edit them. You can also set them as public, meaning all your team members will be able to view and edit them, or you can set them as public but view only, meaning people will be able to see them but not make any edits to that. As you can see, there's contact information inside of Nimble. You can always click this edit button and change it. I already covered that you can use tags to organize your contacts. So you'll see that in your Nimble account, there's already a default like a test contact record for our CEO, and the tag on him is CEO. So if you wanted to create any more text, you could just click edit and just type it in. And tags are the easiest way to organize your contacts, because then you can simply just click on them and you'll be taken to a list of all the people that you tagged with this tag. You can share the URL with anybody on your team, or you can just tell them what the tag is, and then they can use the list of people to outreach to them. This is where the details are. So we covered in settings that you get to change the individual values here. So it really depends on your business model, but you get to completely define them in settings. On the right side here, under interaction, this is where you'll see everything that has been done with the person and what the next steps are. So once you've done a lot with the people, once you've had a long relationship with them, there are some sales opportunities that happen, there are some emails that have been exchanged, maybe notes were added on the contact record. You might find that this main tab will get a little overwhelming. So when you want to quickly find a specific thing, I would recommend going to the sub tabs here. So under activities, you could focus on specific activities. So show me all my to-dos or all my events, like when am I meeting next with this person, or are there any notes? Or if you're looking for a specific message, you could find it here. If you're looking for a sales opportunity, a deal that you have related to this person, it would be under deals. We also covered the custom data fields inside of Nimble. So this is where you also go to see all the information about the person. If you want to edit their email, phone number, add their Skype ID, if you want to preview their descriptions or anything, you can preview it here and also make any edits. And I mentioned that you can create up to 5 custom tabs. So this is what they would look like. So this is one custom tab that I created. And you can define all these individual fields. And you can then, of course, segment on them. So it could be the specific type of product that the person purchased from you. When is it that they purchased? How much money they spent? What's the point of contact or anything else? Under system, you'll also be able to always see who, when the record was created, who created it, when was the last time the contact record was modified, who modified it, and when was the last time the person was contacted by you or your team. Under company information, you'll see the information about the company. If they're active on social media, this is where you could preview their social media profiles. And you can also add files to individual contact records to Nimble to really ensure that everybody in your company will know where to go to find all the information regarding the people and companies they're doing business with. Currently, you can add files straight to Nimble from Microsoft OneDrive, Google Drive, and also Dropbox. And I also covered that when you create custom fields, or if you input any information inside of any of the existing fields in Nimble, you'll then have the option to segment on it. So if you want to run our segmentation, you would click Add Segment here. Before we do that, I quickly want to go through these pretty self-explanatory items in the menu. So when you click on all contacts, this is where all the contacts that you or your team members inputted into Nimble are. If you want to focus on just people, you would click here, or just companies, those that have been marked as important, those that have been recently viewed, recently added, recently contacted, or those that you created a stay in touch reminder with. And this is where the remove contacts are. So I mentioned that the administrator will be able to set up the number of days that you allow the contacts to stay in this folder before they get deleted forever. And once you create segments in Nimble, you have the option to save them and they will show up here. So let's go into the segmentation. So when you click on the segmentation inside of Nimble, you will see that just below the main search box, we have some what we call quick filters. These are not all the filters that you can use to segment your database, but these are just those that are the most used ones. So very often our users want to search by location. So they want to figure out who are all the companies that they have done business in the past few years that are located in California. So you can just start typing the location. It can be state, city, province, anything, and you will see a list of them here. Let's try for Los Angeles. So as you can see, you can just start typing a part of the word, and then you could do a multi-select. So this location also, this multi-select option is very useful because many times somebody on your team will add that somebody's located in LA, then the other contact record will have Los Angeles, and the third one may have just a specific city inside of Los Angeles. So this is how you could make sure that you cover all of those. So you could just select them, click multi-select and update. If you wanted to further refine the search by just the CEOs, you could use any of these quick filters to further refine the search here. If you want to focus just on people or companies, you can do so from here. And as I mentioned, these are not all the filters you can use. You can use every single field that is existing in Nimble or that you created. So you could use birthday or just the people that you have emails for. Or if you're utilizing social media, it could be anything like the number of followers or anything like that. If you have created any custom tags and custom fields, you would be easily able to find them here and also add it to your search. Once you are happy with your search, and maybe you created the search and you want to save time on recreating it in the future, you can easily save it. And every time a new contact record will match the search criteria, they will be automatically added to the list. So then you can be sure that your saved searches will always be up to date. If you end up finding yourself really liking this feature, you can also star some of these and mark them as important. So then they appear on the top. So the most important ones appear on the top. When you're creating segments, you see a list of these people. You can quickly select all of them. Let's pretend there's more than just one person. You could also mark all of them as important, set up stay in touch reminder, or tag them. If you see duplicates, you can also merge them. You can also export into a CSV file or bulk delete them. On the upgraded Nimble business plan, we also offer group messaging. So if you're interested in exploring that feature, you can always message us at care@nimble.com to find more details. But the way it works that the group message is actually sent via your Outlook or the email provider you've connected to Nimble. So if you use the segmentation to come up with, let's say, 100 people that you want to send the same message to, you could use this group messaging to do so, and then we would give you the insights on the clicks and open. So you'll be able to see who opened, what time, how many times, if you include a link, if they clicked it, and if so, how many times. And then you would also be able to follow up with them with possibly more templated messages. So the group message feature is amazing, but it's available on the upgraded Nimble business plan. So that pretty much covers the contacts. As you can see on the top, this is how you can also easily add people to Nimble or companies. And if you click this button, you would be taken to settings and you'll be able to import people into Nimble in bulk. Under activities, this is where you can go to make sure that you know exactly what are the things that are on your to-do list, and you can use it to make sure that they get done. So on this main agenda view, you can focus on just the tasks or figure out what are all your calls that you have for a specific time period, or what are all your meetings you have next week, for instance. Or you could pull up a list of just custom activities. And the custom activities can be anything like trade show or in-person briefing. If you do any analyst briefing or press briefings, those could be custom activities. Under activity listing, this is where you can create to-do lists. So you could quickly just pull up just the tasks. You can set up the time frame, and you can also configure the table. So depending on the project, you can select just the columns that you're interested in. So if you're creating a call list, maybe one of the columns will be the phone number. You can also drag and drop pin those that you want to see in the front, and also uncheck those that are not relevant to you. You can also pull up a list of the specific tasks that are related to you or anybody else on your team. And the list can also be exported, so you can save it and email it to somebody, or you can print it out for meetings, or just if you prefer physically checking things off your to-do list, you can also use the export feature to do that as well. New activities can also be created from here as well. And on deals, this is where you can see your pipeline. We already covered at the beginning of the session that it's completely customizable. So you could go to customize pipelines, name it to whatever you want it to be. If you're using it to track how you're selling specific products, you can use it for that. And if you decide to upgrade and use the multiple deals pipeline feature, these can also be used to track any other activities like public relations or your partner channel or fundraising activities. The pipeline can be viewed in the pipeline view or also in the list. So this really depends on what you prefer. And you can also pick the deals that your team created or just yourself, those that are active, won, lost, or stuck. And now I would like to show you how you can use the browser extension. So Taylor will share a link with you. It's nimble.com/widget. If you haven't installed those extensions, please go on this website and do so because they're really, really useful. They will basically allow you to use Nimble outside of Nimble because most of us, we do our work inside of our inbox or on websites, or many of us do it on social media. And there's nothing worse than having to remember what is it you want to put into your CRM, having to open a new tab, log in, and type it in there. It's super easy to have an extension that will allow you to put it in there and not having to leave the place where you're working. So when you land on this landing page, Nimble will know which browser you are using, so we will help you install it. So I'm using Google Chrome, but if you're using Firefox or if you're using Microsoft Edge, you would just scroll down if that doesn't identify it already, which it should. But if you're using multiple browsers, you can always pick which one you wanted to install on and do it from here. You can also download our mobile apps. We have both Android and iOS applications. And this is how you can also install the Outlook edit. And it will automatically install in both your Outlook for web, the web version, and you'll be able to find it by clicking on these three dots, scrolling down, and there should be a little Nimble logo that will pop up. And what it will do is that it will surface existing records. Then you will then be able to update. You'll be able to edit any information. You'll be able to create notes, tasks, deals, or any events straight from your Outlook inbox. Or if it's a new contact record, we will help you create it and put it into Nimble without having to leave your Outlook. You can also apply tags, preview their social stream, preview any existing tasks, and so on. And I mentioned that it works the same on desktop version. So it depends on the version you're using, but there should be a little Nimble button right here that you'll be able to click. And again, if that contact already exists in your Nimble database, you will quickly be able to preview the contact record, update it, set up any next steps, preview the details about the company, and edit the contact record. And if it's a new contact record, you will be able to add them to Nimble, apply text, fill out any Nimble fields or any custom fields, edit contact information, and schedule any any next steps like follow-ups, set up a stay in touch reminder, or mark contacts as important. And to cover the browser plugin, so as you can see, it works everywhere. So once you install it, you'll see a little blue logo here, and you'll be able to just hover over any name anywhere. So let me try Philip here. As you can see, I do not have Philip in my Nimble database. So I'll know that by Nimble saying that it is a live profile. If I wanted to add him to Nimble, I could quickly just click Add to Nimble, update any information about him, save it, apply lead details, create any text. I could mark him as LinkedIn lead. And I could also set up any next steps. This also works when you're prospecting. So if you want to see who the people are that are engaging with your or your existing customers' content, you can do the same and just hover over their names and easily bring them to Nimble and put them on an outreach list. This will work the same on any company websites. So if you want to create company records, you would just pull up the extension and it should know where it is. So, oops, it disappeared. It headed. Let's see. Yeah, sometimes it's sensitive to where you're hovering. So as you can see, it easily and quickly created a live profile with all the information I might need. I can edit to my CRM database with one click, put any text on it, and save it. So I think these are all the things that I wanted to cover today. And now I would like to invite you to our next set of training webinars. The next one we'll do next week on December 3rd, and the next and last one for this year will be on December 10th. You can always go on nimble.com/company/webinars, and Taylor, please share the link with everybody as well, where you'll be able to see an entire list of all our webinars. We do training webinars for the main Nimble application, the Nimble business plan, every Wednesday. Sometimes I do entire walkthrough, including the Nimble mobile application, and sometimes I focus on specific features. So we have webinars in which I cover how to create custom fields. In some, I just focus on lead generation or creating pipelines and managing deals. So again, if there's anything specific you're interested in, please let us know. And we'll make sure to either create a webinar around that or answer at the end of the session. And since I was just talking about the mobile application, I just realized I forgot to cover it. So hopefully you can see it on my screen. I am using an iPhone, but we also have an Android app, and the features are the same. So when you open it up, you'll see the agenda. So you'll be able to quickly preview what is on your calendar. You can also preview the profile for the person that you are meeting with. If you have a contact information for them in there, you'll be able to quickly dial them. Once you finish the call, Nimble will automatically show you the log activity screen. So then we'll basically prompt you to schedule the next step with the person. So this is the agenda screen. This is where you can quickly preview what's on your calendar. So especially if you're on the go, if you're running late, you can just click on the specific person, and you can even message them straight from here. You could even utilize existing templates to do so. In tasks, you would be able to see what's on your to-do list, quickly update it, delete it, create new ones. Under context, this is where you would be able to search for any specific context. You would be able to see just people, just companies, those that you marked as important, or if you created any safe searches, you would be able to access them here. So you can do most of the stuff that you can do on the web version, also on the mobile version. You can also preview all the tags that you have here and easily pull up a list of people. In context, there's also the business card scanner that I mentioned at the beginning, and you can use it to just quickly scan a business card, and Nimble will create a contact record for the person, and then you will be able to set up the next steps with them. And in deals, you'll be able to preview your pipeline, create new deals, and update existing ones. Thank you so much again for joining me today, and have a wonderful day.